Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview, Everton taking on Aston Villa at Villa Park tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock kickoff. Finally, this fixture has been rescheduled after getting cancelled in January, I think it was, and yet we basically just went the next 3 to 4 months after that, not knowing when this game was going to be played. And you know, as expected, I suppose, as we should have expected, the game is being played bang in the middle of two really important games and right at the end of the Premier League season, and it's going to be an extremely difficult game. Obviously, Everton playing Aston Villa last week. I think this is the shortest. I think there's only been one set of fixtures that have had a shorter sort of turnaround, and I think it was Arsenal and maybe Newcastle a few years ago. I think they played twice within the space of 3 days. Other than that, this is the quickest turnaround for two Premier League games between the same opposition. It wasn't great last week, it really wasn't. Aston Villa turning up at Goodison Park and beating Everton by 2-1. We were absolutely dreadful on that day. Carlo Ancelotti's had his pre-game press conference today. He spoke about how poor we were. He said that within the first 10 minutes we made 10 mistakes that, you know, cost us the game, and he also said that it won't be the same tomorrow evening. And let's hope that Carlo is correct, because it really can't be the same tomorrow evening. We've given ourselves, I was going to say a second chance then, but let's be honest, it's not a second chance, is it? We've given ourselves another chance, and how many of these chances have we had this season where, you know, we've won another massive game away from home, and we've actually got a real opportunity now to string some wins together and potentially finish in a European position, at the end of the season. And that's something that, when we done the Aston Villa review last week and we spoke about that defeat at Goodison Park, I sat here and said, I don't think Everton will finish in a European competition whatsoever, and how Everton, change our minds, don't they? They throw us away with defeats and then they pull us back in with wins like Sundays against West Ham, which was a fantastic win. It was a fantastic result, and it was a very good, solid performance as well. It was a sort of a trademark Carlo Ancelotti Everton away performance this season, and it's why we've won more games than any other team in the Premier League away from home, barring Manchester City, who obviously are now the champions. So this game is away, it's at Villa Park. Aston Villa are without Ollie Watkins, of course, who picked up a red card against Manchester United at the weekend. Apparently, according to Aston Villa manager Dean Smith, Jack Grealish isn't fit to start, but he could well be with the matchday squad. I'm not massively worried about Jack Grealish, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I'm not taking what Dean Smith said as completely and utterly true as well, because we've seen it, firsthand. We've seen it with Carlo Ancelotti this season. He's come out in press conferences and said, the likes of James won't be available, he won't be fit to start, and then, a couple of days later, James has been in the starting 11. But that's not the reason why I'm massively worried about Jack Grealish. The reason I'm not massively worried about Jack Grealish is because, look, he's a fantastic footballer and he's got a lot of quality and he's absolutely excellent, but he's coming back from a long time out injured, so Everton shouldn't have any real problems with dealing with a Jack Grealish who hasn't played a competitive game of football for 2 months, 3 months time. So, again, not massively worried with that one. Of course, they are without our Ollie Watkins, who had an absolute field day at Goodison Park a couple of weeks ago, ran our defence completely riot, and just, yeah, he made it extremely difficult for them. Obviously scored the opening goal, which was through a silly defensive mistake by Everton, and they went on and won the game. And it's a really difficult game, this one, for Everton. It really is a difficult game. It's at this point it's the biggest game of our season, because we've given ourselves a lifeline after beating West Ham United. If we'd have lost on Sunday to West Ham, we'd all be sitting here saying, well, this game, there's nothing really riding on this game. It doesn't massively matter. Yes, it'd be nice to go out and win. Yes, it'd be nice to, get some results together, but we're probably not going to finish in Europe. But the fact that we've beaten West Ham United on Sunday, we've given ourselves a little bit of a chance, if you like. If we beat Aston Villa tomorrow, if we then turn up against Sheffield United at Goodison Park on Sunday and beat them, which we absolutely should, by the way, because they've got a dreadful record away from home. We've then got Wolves with on the last home game of the season, which again is in front of Evertonians at Goodison Park for the first time in a long time. And if we can get 9 points out of those 3 games, then going into Manchester City on the final day of the season might be a little bit of a free hit for Everton. And I think if teams like Tottenham and Liverpool drop points as well, then we could have already solidified ourselves a position in a European competition come next season. So this game is absolutely vital, and I've said it in the title there, nothing less than 3 points is acceptable for this one. Absolutely nothing less than 3 points is acceptable. I'm not going to be happy turning up and getting a draw tomorrow night, and that's not because I don't think Aston Villa are a good team. Aston Villa are a good team. They proved it last week against Everton at Goodison Park. Like I said, it feels so strange to be sitting here and talking about this game, because we were literally talking about the same game a week ago. The difference being is the game we talked about a week ago was at Goodison Park, and we all knew how bad Everton have been at Goodison Park this season. Carlo Ancelotti labelling that performance one of the worst performances of the season. And this game's away from home, and we know how good and how solid we've been away from home. So for me, again, it seems like it's pretty evident as to the way Everton will set up tomorrow. It seems like it's understandable that Carlo Ancelotti will adopt that same sort of style and tactic that he adopts away from home, and I hope he does, because it's worked. Like I said, it's worked more times than any other club in the Premier League this season, barring Manchester City. So I really, really do hope Carlo Ancelotti turns up tomorrow and this Everton team turn up and they frustrate Aston Villa. They make it difficult. They defend it in a unit. They hit them on the counter attack. We take our opportunities. We're clinical up top. That West Ham game could have ended 2-3-0. But again, VAR completely missed a blatant handball. But to be fair, I completely missed the handball as well. But I'm not getting paid however many thousands of pounds a week to look at those situations, and VAR completely and utterly missed that. And Seamus Coleman, should have slotted his opportunity, and he didn't. So look, again, it's going to be very, very difficult. Carlo Ancelotti's had his pre-game press conference today. He has confirmed that Yerry Mina and James Rodriguez are out of this game, as is Jean-Philippe Gbamin, but that isn't a surprise, of course. We knew Jean-Philippe Gbamin was going to be out. Yerry Mina picked up a slight knock in the game against West Ham, of course, had to go off injured and be replaced by Mason Holgate, and Carlo has confirmed that he will not be available for tomorrow. He did say that he hopes he'll have him back for Sheffield United, but if he's not back for Sheffield United, he'll definitely be back for the final 2 games of the season against Wolves and Manchester City. And in regards to James, Carlo said he expects James to return to training on Friday and Saturday, and then he'll be assessed ahead of Sunday. He said he's got no pain anymore. He just hasn't trained this week, so they don't want to risk him, which, again, is understandable. Look, I'm not massively surprised that either of them are out, to be honest with you. I've seen a couple of people on Twitter who seemed surprised at the fact that James Rodriguez was out injured. I sort of had an inkling in myself anyway that he wasn't going to be fit and available for this game. But look, if we can get him back at 100% for the final 3 games of the season, then he'll be an absolutely he'll be a massive asset to this Everton team. And look, this is a chance for revenge. It is a chance for revenge. It's a chance to turn up at Villa Park and ultimately do to Aston Villa what they did to Everton, and that was frustrate, win the battle in midfield, and hit them on the counter attack. And I'm really, really intrigued to see how Aston Villa set up in this game. I'm really, really intrigued to see how Aston Villa sort of approach it, because are Aston Villa going to approach it and sort of try and come on us and try and have the ball and try and say, right, okay, we're at home, so we're going to be the team that takes that responsibility to go out and win the game? Because if they do, then I think Everton will have I'm not going to say a comfortable afternoon, but I think Everton will win the game, because Everton have won those types of games all season. We've beaten Liverpool at Anfield doing that. We've beaten Leicester away doing that. We've beaten Chelsea at Goodison doing that. We've beaten obviously West Ham on Sunday doing that. So I'm really, really intrigued to see what Aston Villa can do, because Aston Villa last week saw firsthand that when you come up against a team like Everton, you give us the ball and you say to us, right, you come at us, the onus is on you go out and win this game actively. Everton don't do well at doing that whatsoever, and I think that's been our downfall at Goodison Park this season. When we've been away from home, the opposition team, I think, sort of feels like they've got a responsibility to go out and win that game. They've got a responsibility to go out and attack us and get at us and put a pressure on us, and that just feeds into our hands massively, because we defend in a low block. We're solid defensively. The midfield does the job, and we hit teams on the counter attack. It's when we've been at home and opposition teams have pretty much done what we do to teams away from home to us at Goodison. That's when we've really, really struggled, and obviously Aston Villa have seen that firsthand less than a week ago. So I'm intrigued to see how Aston Villa set up. I'm intrigued to see Aston Villa's game plan. Will he turn up and just say to Everton, you know what, even though we're at home, you can have the ball, you can come at us, you can break us down? Or will they think, right, okay, maybe we've got a little bit of confidence now, we beat these the other week, we're quite confident we're going to get at them, these are beatable, we can get at these, and that'll play right into Carlo Ancelotti's hands. But look, the reality of the situation is, no matter how Aston Villa approach this game, no matter how Everton approach this game, we simply have to win. I'm sick of these false dawns, I'm sick of these false hopes and this, like I literally sat here after the Villa game and said, that's it, season's done, end the season now, we've got nothing to play for. And then we turn up against West Ham in a game that, I don't think any of us really, I don't think any of us really predicted or expected Everton to win, but that's what we've done all season. We've won those types of games all season. We've turned up away from home against teams that have been in very good form or have got good, home records, and we've just completely and utterly outfought them, outbattled them, and we've made it horrible for them and impossible for them to break us down. And so realistically, should we really have been surprised by the West Ham result on Sunday? Probably not. No, looking back on it, it wasn't anything different to what we've seen away from home. It wasn't like we're sitting here saying, oh my god, that's a completely new Everton. It's not a new Everton. It's the way Everton have performed pretty much in every single away game this season, and that's why we've only lost 3 away games this season. 1 to Chelsea, which we didn't perform like that for some reason. I don't know why we didn't. And we've lost to Newcastle and Southampton earlier on in the season when we went through that bad run of form. So the result on Sunday and the performance on Sunday shouldn't really have been a surprise. I hope we can go out and do the same tomorrow. I really do, because I think if we can do that, we'll beat Aston Villa. And like I said, this game we're not talking about a game where we're saying, oh yeah, it'd be nice to win, or we'd like to win. This is a must win. If Everton want to finish in Europe, we have to get 9 points out of the next 3 games, especially given the fact that we've got Manchester City on the last day of the season. And look, Manchester City, again, they've just won the Premier League yesterday. They've got nothing really to play for in the league now. They've got a Champions League final coming up. I think the Champions League final 6 days or something like that after our game on the final day of the season. So maybe Manchester City won't be as big of a task as it typically is, in the Premier League. But ultimately, it's still Manchester City, and we know this. We know Manchester City could put out their 4th choice, 5th choice squad, and it still give Everton a run for their money because of how much depth they have. So that means that, again, that puts even more importance on the next 3 games, and this one I think is the toughest of them all. I really, really do. Even though it's away, and I get that, home form this season has been extremely difficult, but I look at the Sheffield United game and think, realistically, even though Everton have been absolutely dross at home this season, we should be winning that game. If we don't beat Sheffield, and this is no disrespect to Sheffield United, by the way, but if we don't beat Sheffield United at home, then why are we even talking about Europe? Why are we even thinking about this Everton team being a European challenging side? Why are we even thinking about that if we can't beat a side that's won 1 away game all season, and drawn 1 and lost 15, 16, something like that? And the Wolves game, again, it's at home, but I honestly think it'll be a different scenario. It's the last home game of the season. It's the first game with fans back in the stadium since December. I can see us winning that game as well. So this is the big test. Aston Villa away, like I said, they're without Jack Grealish, they're without Ollie Watkins, but they've still got some good quality players. We saw it literally firsthand a week ago. Elgazi, absolutely excellent finish. A player that you probably wouldn't point out as one of the best in the league. In fact, some Aston Villa fans were saying in the comments of my instant match reaction that he's not even one of the best at Aston Villa, but he's got that quality, he's got that ability that if you allow him onto his right foot, he can curl it into the corner, as shown, and those types of goals, those types of situations will win games, as proven. The likes of John McGinn, who I think is a really good player, Ross Barkley, who, absolutely ran the show last week. We can't allow Ross Barkley to do that. We know what Ross Barkley is. We know how Ross Barkley plays. He hasn't changed since he left Everton Football Club 4 or 5 years ago. He's the same player. He'll pick the ball up in the middle of the park and he'll bulldoze his way through the centre, and he'll get to a situation where he's either got to pass on to one of the forwards or he can shoot himself. Burton Traore, good quality, skillful player, can score goals, can beat a man. We know what we're coming up against here. And again, a positive thing going into this game is I don't necessarily think Aston Villa know what they're coming up against. We know what we're coming up against, but I don't think Aston Villa do, because let's be perfectly honest, Everton away from home are a different team than Everton at home. Said this the other day, if you were to speak to a non-football lover or somebody that doesn't watch the Premier League and you were to show them an Everton performance away and an Everton performance at home, they'd swear they were different players, they'd swear they were a different team, they'd say they're not the same players that are doing that, because we play so much better away from home, there's fight, there's energy, we dig deep, we battle, we defend, in a solid formation, we don't make many individual mistakes, we're clinical going forward, whereas at home, we're the complete opposite of everything I've just mentioned. So, I think a big positive going into this is I don't think Aston Villa quite understand what they're coming up against, and that's not me saying Everton are going to go out and win, but I think Everton should go out and win. I really, really do. And I said it before the last game, and Aston Villa turned up and beat us, and rightly so. They were the much better team on the day, and I like Aston Villa. They're a good club. They're a massive club. They've got some really good quality players, but this is it. This is crunch time now. This is where the players have to prove themselves. Again, massive respect to Aston Villa, but Aston Villa aren't a team that are going to be finishing in the Europa League this season. Aston Villa aren't a team that are playing in Europe consistently. Aston Villa aren't a team that are battling at the top ends of their leagues. So if we can't go out and beat Aston Villa, again, no disrespect, then why have we got these envisions that we can go out and do well in the Europa League? As I've said this yesterday, if Everton are going to finish in a European position this season, I don't want it to be, right, we finish in a European position this season, and then next season, we either do well in the Europa League or have a good cut run, as some people will say, and we finish 10th, 11th, 12th in the Premier League, or we go out in the group stage of the Europa League and we push again for the the European places in the league for the top 6, 7. I don't want that. If Everton finish in the Europa League this season, absolutely great. But this summer transfer window, it's a massive transfer window anyway, either way, because we know what we need, and we need at least 4 or 5 players to improve this squad. But if Everton finish in the Europa League this season, I want an Everton team that can fight in that competition. I've never been into this. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know in the comments. We will get in the comments in a moment. But I've never been this type of fan who likes a good cut run. It's not a good cut run. If you get to the final and you lose, you may as well have gone out in the group stage. You may as well have gone out in the qualifiers. You may as well have gone out in the second round of the FA Cup if you're going to get to Wembley and lose. I'm not having this. Yeah, but we had a good cut run this year. It's a nonsense. It's an absolute nonsense. I don't know why it's even a thing, to be honest with you. A good cut run is winning the cup. You don't sit here, and if we finish, let's say we get in the Europa League next season and we finish, I don't know, 13th in the Premier League. I'm not saying this will happen, by the way, just theoretically. And we finish 13th in the Premier League and then go out in the final of the Europa League. We might say, yeah, we got to the final of the Europa League that year, but realistically, what have we got to show for it? A runners-up medal. We finish in the semi-final. What have we got to show for it? The fact that we can say, oh yeah, but we finished in the semi-final of the Europa League. We didn't win it. You didn't win anything for it, and your league form was dreadful. So if Everton finish in a European position next season, for next season, I want us to go out and be able to be prepared to go far in that European competition and be prepared to win that competition as well as maintain our league form. And in order to do that and to beat those teams that we're going to be coming up against in Europe, you'd have to be able to turn up against teams like Aston Villa, who are good Premier League teams, solid teams. They are a very good, solid team with a lot of good players. But let's be honest, Aston Villa are here and Everton are probably here but want to be here. So go and prove ourselves. Dominic Calvert-Lewin come out after the West Ham game and said, I'm sick of talking about us bouncing on after these wins. I'm sick of talking about, are we going to go on and get a good run of form? We're not going to talk about it. Let's just get our heads down and focus on the next game. Luca Dean has come out last week and said every game's a final now. We want to finish in Europe and we know every game's a final. This is a final. The West Ham game was a final. This is a final. If we lose this one, then it's done for the season. It's absolutely done. If we win this one, then we set ourselves up against 2 very, very beatable teams at Goodison Park. And hopefully, if we beat Villa, we beat Wolves and we beat Sheffield United, going into that Manchester City game, hopefully we should be near enough, finishing in the European positions. If not, then it goes down to the final day of the season, and it is what it is. But this is an absolute must-win for me. Like I said, nothing less than 3 points is acceptable. Do I think we can win? Yes. Are Aston Villa a good side? Of course they are. They've got some really good players, as they showed, 2 weeks ago, last week. They're a very dangerous side as well. They really, really are. Because ultimately, again, I said it last week, and you might think, oh, Cam, you're stupid because you said this last week and now you're saying it again. Ultimately, this should still be a game that Everton are looking to win. This should still be a game that Everton look at and think, yeah, we need to go out and win this game. We're away from home for a start. Like I said, with 11 wins away from home this season, more than any other team other than Manchester City. And I expect that a much better performance. Carlo Ancelotti has come out today. He's confirmed we've only had 2 injuries for this game. We've got obviously John Philip Kabam is out, but not classing him. Yerry Mina, which we knew, and James James Rodriguez, which again I could have pretty much guessed as well. So we've got near enough a full squad. So we've got certainly a strong enough squad to go out and win. Carlo said that we made 10 mistakes in the opening 10 minutes of the game against Aston Villa last week. We won't do that again. It'll be a different game. We'll approach it differently. We'll perform differently. And that's probably basically Carlo Ancelotti coming out and saying, we were at home that last week and we're shite at home, and we're away this week and we're great away from home. So we'll approach it in the same way as we approach every other away game, and hopefully Aston Villa won't be prepared for that. We will get into my predicted starting 11 in just a moment, by the way. Let's get into the live comments before we do that. Den says, hopefully can't call it anymore. Honestly can't call it anymore. As soon as I think we're done, we go and get a good result and we're back in it. Hopefully we get a good return in our next 3 games. You never know. Yeah, look, again, we've got to. We've absolutely got to. If we want to finish in a European competition next season, we need to pick up 9 points. It's not, well, could we pick up 7? Could we pick up 6? It's 9. It's 9 points, because if we pick up 9 points in the next 3 games, then if Tottenham go out and win every one of their games, brilliant. If Liverpool go out and win every one of their games, I'm not going to say brilliant. But if the teams around us, West Ham, go out and win all of their games, and we win all of ours, and then we're sitting here at the end of the season and we aren't in a European position because every other team's won all of their games, as have we, then we can sit here and talk about the home form and how that's bitten us on the arse and certain games and certain results. But I honestly don't see Tottenham, West Ham and Liverpool winning every one of their remaining games. I don't. I really, really don't. You know, Liverpool have got Manchester United. I think Tottenham have got Leicester on the last game of the season. West Ham have got a couple of winnable games coming up, but games that they could certainly tip up in. So let's not worry about anybody else. Let's not worry about those other teams. If we don't pick up 9 points in the next 3 games, it doesn't matter what any of the other teams do. It really, really doesn't. We need to focus on ourselves. I think far too many times this season, probably, I don't know whether I know me personally as a fan, but I'm sure the players have probably had a look at other results and other teams and gone, oh, this is a big chance to jump above them. This is a big chance to jump above them. And we've blown it. So let's just focus on ourselves, and this is a massive game. Like you said, you never know, but it's 9 points out of 9 for me, and then we address the City game and see where we are. Eugene says, did you hear DC Allen talk about today? Cam, I did. He had a little bit of a laugh, didn't he, about still not impressing the Everton Dars. I love Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think he's absolutely excellent. Spoke about Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison yesterday. I think he's a brilliant striker. I think he gets so much unnecessary stick, to be honest with you. If you're enjoying this stream, by the way, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you could share the stream as well, that would mean a great deal to me. It only takes a second. Eugene says, James Rodriguez is fit to play for Everton against Sheffield United this Sunday night, because Carlo Ancelotti said it in his press conference. Well, he said that James is going to be training on Friday and Saturday, and the hope is that as long as he trains well, he'll be able to play on Sunday against Sheffield United. But we'll have to see. Obviously, it depends if James can train well. Joey says, at first I said to myself, is that handball? But the second camera threw everyone off. I think it's handball, to be honest with you, mate. I think when the ball hits the post and then strikes a defender on the hand, whether it's intentional or not, if you're standing on the line and the ball hits your hand and therefore doesn't go into the back of the net purely because it's hit your hand, then that's a handball, and that should be a penalty all day long. Football's fans thought says, hi Cam, hi mate. Jason says, hi Cam, loving this team, we need to win, loving your involvement with Ped and Baz too. Cheers mate. Yeah, absolutely, we need to win. Nothing less is acceptable. Eugene says, Coleman ready for European fight. Well, let's see it from Seamus tomorrow. Jason says, if we make Europa League, I'm dreading the review on here moaning at playing Thursday and Sunday. Imagine it, mate. No, listen, like I said, as long as Everton do well, Carlo Ancelotti knows full well. Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again, and we're going to talk about it a lot more in the next week or so. Whether we finish in a European position or not, this summer's massive. We're finishing in the Europa League and not finishing in the Europa League, which either one is irrelevant really, because we still need a right back whether we finish in the Europa League or not. We still need a right midfielder, right winger. We still need 2 wingers and a right back whether we finish in a European competition or we don't. We still need another central midfielder that can come in and also almost do that decore role, a physical player who can get about the pitch, who's fast, who's quick, who can move, who's mobile. We still need all of that whether we finish in Europe or not. Europe just means we're probably going into this summer needing 5 or 6 players. If we finish in Europe, we probably need maybe 7 or 8 just to have those extra 2 for the squad depth and to be able to rotate. But even without Europe, we still need 5, 6 players. let's say a right winger, a right back, a right winger, and a centre midfielder are an absolute set, and a striker. So there's already 4, because we need a backup to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, don't we? Let's be honest, because Moise Keane's probably gonna leave in the summer. And then you're probably maybe looking at a left winger as well. We've got a lot of work to do in the transfer window, that's for sure. Football fans thoughts, hi Cam, cheers mate. Chris says DCL is right, actions speak louder than words, you're spot on. Jason says I've looked at the table and other results and had the what ifs most weeks. Exactly. But I think for the end of this season, I'm not really looking at the what ifs this season. Do you know, if we'd have only lost 3 home games this season, or if we'd have only lost 3 home games this season, we'd have been in probably the Champions League places. But let's say if we finish 8th at the end of the season, but we'd only lost to Fulham and Burnley and Leeds at home, then I'd sit here and say, what if we beat Fulham, Burnley and Leeds at home? But I think there's too many what ifs now to really mention it, because we're basically saying, what if we had a mid-table home record? If we had a mid-table home record, we'd be challenging for the Champions League now. If we didn't have a relegation form home record, then we'd be challenging, we'd be comfortably in the European position. So there's that many what ifs in terms of home games and home results that it's almost not worth talking about, because it's not just what if for this game or for that game, it's what if for every time we've played at Goodison this season, barring the odd 1 or 2 games at the start of the season and in December. But anyway, let's get into my predicted starting 11 then, into this game. Obviously, what we know so far from Carlo Ancelotti's press conference is that James Rodriguez, Yerry Mina and Jean-Philippe Gbamin are all out injured. I'm going straight in there then. I've gone for in goal, Jordan Pickford. Didn't have much to do against West Ham, did he? West Ham only managed, he didn't manage a single shot on target, I don't think, despite the fact that their fans were calling us Stoke FC and Park the Bus FC. How can you park the bus against a team that don't have any shots? Bit mad. But Jordan Pickford didn't have much to do whatsoever. He's been absolutely brilliant in recent weeks, brilliant in recent months, to be fair, as well. So for me, Jordan Pickford is straight in this Everton team, no questions asked. Of course, backline, then I've gone for a 5 at the back again. Listen, I've talked about this formation before, and I've expressed my dislike to this formation before, and I'm still not the biggest fan of it. But I just think it's the best formation for us to use and play at the moment. That I think it's the formation ultimately that we have to just settle with between now and the end of the season. It's the only formation that allows us any width in this team, because let's be honest, other than when we play a 4 at the back, we've got no width, because Seamus Coleman can't get up and down the pitch like he used to be able to do. Luca Dean, when he gets up and down the pitch when it's just a 4, he's got nobody to cover him. So this is the only formation that allows us any sort of width, and we're going to need that. So I've gone for Luca Dean at left back. Again, pretty solid game against West Ham. Got forward an awful lot, put a couple of decent balls in as well. I've gone for Ben Godfrey left centre back, and this is important. Usually I don't talk about left and right centre backs when I do a 5 at the back. I just name the 3 centre backs, but Ben Godfrey left centre back. Now my thinking with this is, if you've got a 5 at the back, you've got Jordan Pickford, you've got Luca Dean, and you've got Seamus Coleman, right wing back and left wing back, then once Luca Dean pushes up, if you've got Ben Godfrey at left centre back, he can slot in at left back. We know Ben Godfrey can do a job at left back. He's done it for 2 or 3 months this season. When Luca Dean was out injured, he was absolutely exceptional at doing it. Don't go out and play a 5 at the back tomorrow and have Mason Holgate left centre back and Ben Godfrey right centre back, because we know that in terms of those 2 players themselves, Mason is much more comfortable playing on the right than he is the left. Ben Godfrey can play anywhere really, but he can do a solid job at the left. So if you've got Luca Dean pushing up that way to create up top, and Seamus Coleman pushing up that way, then you need Ben Godfrey to slot in at left back, Mason to slot in at right back, and Michael Keane in the centre of the 2 of them. So Ben Godfrey left centre back, Michael Keane obviously in the centre, on the edge of his box defending there, and Mason Holgate. Yerry Mina is a massive miss. Obviously, we know Yerry Mina is a massive miss. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We know Yerry Mina is a massive miss, of course. We can't really help that. If Yerry Mina was fit, he'd be in this team all day long, because I think he's our best centre-half. I think he's our most important centre-half, but he's not. He's out injured, so we can't do anything about that. And then obviously Seamus Coleman at right back. Again, not many other options. That hopefully will allow Seamus to get forward. Hopefully will allow Seamus to create and to put balls into the box and to get in those areas that he seemed like he's been excited to get into recently. He seems like he's been sort of, almost being a bit nostalgic of his past self. And then into the midfield, I've gone with Alan, Tom Davies, and Abdoulaye Doucouré. Now, you might look at this and go, well, where's the creativity coming from, Cam? Where's the number 10, if you like? I don't necessarily think we need a number 10, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Gylfi Sigurdsson didn't really do much against West Ham on Sunday. He had a relatively okay game in the first half. He battled a little bit in the second half, but let's be honest, he wasn't massively involved in the game whatsoever. Alan and Tom Davies need to start. The only reason I will accept Alan and Tom Davies not starting is to give them a rest, or either one of them a rest ahead of starting on Sunday against Sheffield United. But I think this is the bigger game, to be honest, than the Sheffield United game. But tactically, Alan and Tom Davies absolutely have to start. But I understand that we've got Villa on Thursday, Sheffield United on Sunday, Wolves next Thursday, and then City next Sunday. And I get that Tom Davies and Alan aren't going to start all of those games. You probably are going to see Andre Gomez. You probably are going to see, dare I say, Fabian Delph. But tactically, for me, it has to be Alan and Tom Davies. Now, Tom has proven time and time again this season, and he proved it on Sunday, that he offers us so much more than Andre Gomez does. He offers us so much more than Gylfi does in that position. Gylfi obviously offers us a lot more in more attacking positions, but not as a regular central midfielder. He offers us so much more than Fabian Delph offers. So for me, Tom Davies absolutely has to be in this team. He also he gives confidence to Alan, and I don't think Andre Gomez does this, if I'm being honest with you. What Tom Davies does is allows Alan to get forward, break forward, look over his shoulder and go, oh, it's sound, I've got Tom there, and he'll do the defensive work, he'll back me up, he'll be there to sweep up everything, sweep up anything if it breaks for the opposition team. I don't think Alan has that trust in Andre Gomez. I don't think Alan has that trust in Fabian Delph. He was brilliant on Sunday, Tom, absolutely fantastic. As was Alan, who was partnering him in the centre of the midfield. Again, absolutely fantastic performance, breaking forward, winning the ball back, taking it past players, lovely quick feet to get past players, and then breaking into the midfield. He was that. Alan's performance on Sunday against West Ham was the sort of performance that of a player that we've sort of been screaming out for the last few weeks now. Somebody that picks the ball up in the midfield and can run with it. And look, I'm not going to lie, I didn't think it'd be Alan. But what happens when you put Tom Davies in the number 6 role, if you like? Sorry, and when you say to Tom Davies, you sit in front of that defence, you pick the ball up, you be that sort of general, if you need to give away a foul in the middle of the park, do it. If you win the ball back when you need to win it back, it sort of allows Alan to play a little bit further forward. It allows Alan to pick the ball up and run with it, because when Tom Davies isn't next to Alan, he's picking the ball up and he's either thinking, right, okay, I'm not going to move forward with this because I know I've not got the cover behind me. Or the odd time that he does pick it up and run forward, he gets it to a good area, he gives it off, and either we give it away, and then once we give it away, Alan hasn't got the energy or the pace to get back. And Andre Gomez, whether he hasn't got the ability or he hasn't got the football and brain, whatever, he doesn't slot in and he doesn't slot in and do that Alan role, if you like. He doesn't slot in and do his defensive duties. So for me, it's got to be Alan and Tom Davies in the centre of the midfield. I'm going with Abdoulaye Doucouré in the other midfield position. Listen, Abdoulaye Doucouré is I think a bit of a flip of the coin at the moment for Carlo Ancelotti, whether he plays him or not. Obviously, he's only just coming back from an injury. He's still not going to be match fit whatsoever, but he's going to play at some point. He mightn't play him tomorrow. We might rest him and play him on Sunday against Sheffield United, but he might play him tomorrow. I'd like to see Doucouré, Alan and Tom Davies in a midfield 3. I really would, because I think you've got your energy and your pace and your mobility in Abdoulaye Doucouré. You've got your grittiness, your fight, your battle, your player that disrupts the opposition in Tom Davies, and then you've got Alan, who can do the disruptive and battling part, but can also have that quality to bring the ball forward, to skip it past players and to take it forward. Alan's performance against West Ham was world class. World class. You won't be able to tell me different. No football fan will be able to tell me that they watched Alan against against West Ham United, and they didn't think it was a world-class performance. It was absolutely unbelievable. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And then front two, I've gone for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. We sat here yesterday. We done an entire stream, in fact, about the fact that Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison need to start working as a partnership. They need to start working as a duo. They need to start working as a two. You know, they're not only two very good individual strikers. They need to be a fantastic partnership together. And if you can have Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison playing off each other, if you can have Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison singing off the same hymn sheet, then I think you've got two absolutely unbelievable talents and a fantastic partnership going forward. A partnership that could potentially score us 40, 50 goals a season, because Dom's only going to get better, and he's already got 21 for the season. He'd get better next season. And Richarlison, although he's had a bad season this season, granted, for the last couple of seasons he's been phenomenal, so hopefully he can find his form of the last couple of seasons and we'll have a partnership as long as they can work together. You know, we've seen there was a couple of examples against West Ham where, you know, there was a pass on for Dom to make to Richie and he just didn't. There was a pass on for Richie to make to Dom and he just didn't. They have to sort of nail that down. And look, like I said, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of a 5 at the back formation. I'm really not, but it's the only formation that provides us any width at the moment. We've got no wingers. It's a fact. We've got no wings. We've got 452 number 10s and not one winger in this team. So we simply, at the moment, we can't play a 4 at the back, because when you're playing a 4 at the back, you've got a left midfielder and a right midfielder, or a left winger and a right winger. And at the moment, we're either shoehorning and Alex Iwobi into right wing when we know he can't do a job there because he's not good enough. We're shoehorning and Richarlison into left wing when we know, you know, he doesn't really fancy it there. He wants to play as a striker. You're putting Bernard in there, who's had no consistency and no real, you know, quality this season. I get he scored against Tottenham. It was a great goal, but he's not been in the team. Hammers is obviously injured. You don't want to see Sigurdsson on one of the wings. So for me, you play a 5 at the back. Your width is Luca Dean and Seamus Coleman. You have Ben Godfrey sitting in at left back when Luca Dean goes forward. You have Mason sitting in at right back when Seamus goes forward. And you've got the 3 in midfield who provide the grit, the energy, the fight. You've got the quality in Alan. You've got the mobility and you know, quickness of Abdoulaye Doucouré, and then you've got the grit and the fight and the passion and the determination of Tom Davies. And then up front, you've hopefully got a duo of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison who can work together and combine to, you know, to hurt Aston Villa. But look, again, that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Massive thanks if you're watching live, by the way. Really, really do appreciate it. We will get back on the live comments shortly. If you're watching this YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Well on our way now to 3,800 subscribers. Of course, on the road to 4K. So if you could hit that subscribe button, if you knew, it would mean a massive amount to me. If you know anybody that'd be interested in the channel, Evertonians, football fans, share the channel and let's try and get as many people involved as we can. But yeah, massive opportunity for revenge, of course. Massive opportunity for revenge and a massive opportunity for Everton to turn up and battle, because we have to battle. Ultimately, we can't afford to perform like we did at Goodison against Aston Villa 2 weeks ago. We can't afford to allow them to just run the game. We can't afford Ross Barkley we can't afford to allow Ross Barkley all the time in the world on the ball to get forward, to break forward. We need a Tom Davies in there who isn't afraid to put his foot through Ross Barkley and say to him, I'm here. We need an Allen in there who can bring the ball further forward up the pitch. He seems like our only real progressive runner. We need Doucouré in there to provide that energy so we don't get out running midfield like we did 2 weeks ago. We need Dominic Calvert-Lewin to, again, slot it past the goalkeeper as he did on Sunday. We need Richarlison to be a little bit more pumped up for it, a little bit more clinical. You know, we need the back line to be solid defensively and not make any individual mistakes. And if we can do all of that, I firmly believe we'll go out and we'll get the winner. Ed here says, what is the position in the table to go to the Europa League? 7th, yeah, 7th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Eugene says, what is your score prediction for the game? I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Everton, to be honest with you, mate. Jason says 5th or 6th going to Europe, 7 is Conference League and an August qualifier. Yeah, so 7th is the new Conference League, yeah. And 5th or 6th is Europa. There you go. Nice one, Jason. It is a kazoo derby, as Eugene says. He says, thanks, Jason. Chris says, Mina will be a miss, but the rest of your team, I agree. Tom must start. Don't want to see Gomez or Iwobi if possible. Yeah. Look, what I would say going into this game, and I think it's important to say this, is that if Carlo Ancelotti doesn't start the team that we want to see, if he doesn't start Tom Davies tomorrow, if he doesn't start Doucouré, if Alan comes out, then look, I think it'll be a bit silly, because Again, I don't think we'll win this game with Gomez in there. I don't think we'll win this game with Iwobi in there. I don't think we'll win this game with Delph in there. But you also have to think we've now got 4 games in the space of a week, practically. And Carlo is going to have to rotate. So let's be honest with ourselves and let's understand that you're not going to see the same 11 week in. You're not going to see the same 11 for the next 4 games on the bounce. You're going to see players coming out and players coming in, and by the mere definition of that, we're going to be disappointed at times. Hopefully it's not tomorrow night. Hopefully Tom's good enough to go again. Hopefully Alan's good enough to go again. Hopefully Decore can come back in. Made up that Decore didn't come on against West Ham, to be honest with you. Absolutely made up, because it means he'll be much fitter now for this game. But yeah, like I said, what I would say is at some point, whether it be tomorrow or it might be Sunday, might be next Thursday, we're going to see changes to this Everton team, and we're probably not going to be very happy with them. Jason says no probs. Eugene says massive side. Sims progress hail. He's doing well at Blackpool. And Joshua says, would you guys take a draw? Absolutely not, mate. It's got to be a win. Look, Aston Villa are a good side, a very good side with a lot of quality. They're without Ollie Watkins, who was the biggest threat last week and give us an absolutely torrid time. They're without, well, hopefully they'll be without Jack Grealish. He might be in the match day squad, but according to Dean Smith, he's not going to be starting. Even if he does start, they're without a fully fit, match fit Jack Grealish. Even if he does play and he does start, he hasn't played a competitive game for 2 or 3 months' time. So again, it shouldn't be, for as much quality he has and for as good of a footballer he is, it shouldn't be very hard to deal with a player that's been out for 3 months. It really, really shouldn't. And yet, like I said, it's going to be very difficult. It is, and it's going to be a tough test, but we've got to win it. If we've got any aspirations of finishing in Europe, if we've got any aspirations of finishing this season strong, we have to win it. Do I think we will win it? Yes. We're away from home. I think we're a much different team away from home. I don't think Aston Villa will be prepared for that. And I think Carlo Ancelotti knows exactly how to go out and get results away. So I do think we'll win. It'll be difficult, but listen, we've got to go out and get the 3 points. We absolutely do. Eugene talks about Fanny Jeffers. Jay's gone to Ipswich Town today. And Manuel says, would like to see Moriel alongside Dom and Richie next season. He's smashing it in the Serie A. He's a good player. He is a good player. I don't know if he's the type of player we'd go for, but he's a decent player. Anyway, look, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Got the hiccups there, sorry. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow with the instant match reaction and the player ratings ahead of this, after this game. So don't forget to join us for those, my instant thoughts, and of course rating every player's performance after the game. So join us for them. If you are enjoying the streams and the videos, then please do subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean a great deal to me. If you watch live, massive thank you to everybody for watching. If you're watching as a YouTube video, big thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll get involved with as many of them. Massive thanks to everybody in the live comments as well. Joshua says, what happened to Richie this season? Could it all be transfer rumours around him? Because we know he says his name. No, I just think it's I think he's had a bad season, to be honest with you. Players do. Sometimes players struggle for various different reasons. I don't think the constant change of style and tactic and formation has helped them massively, but we've had to do that through injuries. So I don't think it's anything we should really look too deep into. I just think he's had a difficult season. And Eugene says, see about the toffees and 3 points tomorrow. Yeah, massive thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Difficult game tomorrow, but one that I expect Everton to go out and win. And look, there's no other option really. We've just got to go out and win. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.